It tells me, hello everyone, my name is Katie of my Greenland Quilter channel. I hope everyone has been having a fantastic week and you've managed to get some sewing in and some whatever it is you love to do during the week, even if you're working. I hope everyone's been able to be productive this week and everybody's, just getting things done. Myra, my friend, is here with me today. I'm glad she's being my wingman, which makes my day. So, you want to say hi, Myra?
Buddy, I'm a wing woman.
Okay. So, anyway, say hello to everyone.
I said hello, I'm a wing woman.
Oh, okay. All right. So, let's see here. We got a couple things to talk about, and then we're going to start working on this. Today is our Greenland Quilter sew along. This is the third Thursday of the month. So once a month, we've been getting together and discussing the sew along. We are designing as we go along, and we're using 5-inch charm squares. Or some people that didn't have charm packs are using their yardage to make 5-inch. I understand that I think it was Andrea said that she ran out of charm squares, so she started cutting from her yardage. So however it works for you guys, it's great. You can do it however you want to. I just wanted to make sure that everyone, we're designing this as we go along. And so however you want to do it your way, that's part of this. But I'm gonna give you the basics tonight. We are going to talk about the hourglass tonight, along with the sashing that's going to start playing a part in this sew along. And I had to reload my page. Okay. All right. So this is the block this is the final block when we get to this part. Yeah. Okay, so hang on a minute. Let me get a design board here. I'm gonna put this on the design board so we can talk about the structure of this block. Okay. So basically, what you've been doing for the last couple of months is you've been working on making 4-patch blocks that you turn into a 9-patch bigger block. And then these are the hourglass blocks that we talked about last month that I gave you as part of your homework. So you're going to need 9 4-patch blocks to make this 9-patch. Did I just say 9? I think I did. Yeah, 9 4-patch blocks to make the 9-patch. You're going to need 7 hourglasses that's going to go on the outer perimeter. This sashing here is 1 inch. So we're going to measure this 9-patch block so that we can go ahead and put the sashing on one side of that 9-patch. Then you're going to need, well, I'll walk you through sewing the hourglasses together. We're going to sew 4 here and 4, wait, 1, 3. Yeah, we're going to sew 3 of these together and then 3 of these down here together. This one on the corner, this is where you can get creative because you can find something that stands out in your eyes that might be brighter than the rest or more darker than the rest. It can be like your cornerstone, sort of, because we're going to have to put a short sashing here, and then we'll run this whole sashing lengthways of this. So we'll be doing that tonight as we go along. All right. So hi, Sharon. Welcome, welcome. All right. Well, talk to them for a minute. I'll be right back.
So Sharon, it looks like it's just us in here, and that's fine. Other people will come as they come. There's a little bit of a lag on my phone from my computer because I'm doing the chat on my phone, but Zoom on the computer. So I don't know how you're getting it. Sharon, where are you at?
Okay. Let me see if I can see how many people might be hiding.
Oh, you're on your phone. I meant, are you in America? Are you in Florida with a moniker like Sunshine?
Sophie. Hello, everyone. My name is Katie of my Greenland Quilter channel. Whoops. That was interesting.
Very. Sharon, I'm in Florida as well. I'm in the Panhandle, but I live in Central Florida. Katie, what happened to your board?
You mean the block?
Yeah, that you had it.
Oh, I've already set it aside because I'm going to be showing the hourglass portion of this first. Okay.
Oh,
All right.
Hi,
So,
Lori. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Lori, welcome. Okay. Oh, she says Gainesville. Wow.
Yeah, it's Gainesville at about 9 o'clock this morning.
Okay, so here's the strips. You're just gonna if you're using yardage to cut your strips, you just need to cut 1 inch strips for the sashing that's going to go on that we're going to start incorporating into our blocks. You're going to need
Question.
Okay.
Can I ask it?
Sure.
So if you want your sashing 1 inch, would you need your strips to be 1.5 to do a fourth and a fourth on each side? Because you're
No.
really just going to have a 1/2 inch sash?
Yeah, that's all that is a 1/2 inch right there.
And it looks wonderful. Okay.
Yeah, this was on purpose. Yeah, I'll turn the camera
It
around.
looks beautiful.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let me turn this around where they can see the block while I'm talking about it. There we go. All right, so you're going to need.
Hi, Jody. Welcome, welcome.
Hi, Jody. So what you're going to need is I'm cutting my sashing from yardage. Now, if you're using scraps, which is just perfect because this is supposed to be scrappy, you just need to make sure you're cutting in 1 inch. Now, having said that, if you decide that you think that that's just too narrow for your taste, you can make it however wide you want to. Just make sure that whatever the width is, you're going to have to make sure it all matches the block section of this, okay? So it's up, because remember, I have said several times, this is us designing together. You design it how you want yours to look. It's, or you can do it the way I'm doing it. This block, as I have it now, is 16 3/4. So there's that. So what you need to make sure though on this is on this section right here where you see this one block all by itself with sashing on 2 sides, these one sashing piece here needs to be 4.5 inches long because you're going to sew it to this corner block. The rest of these, the other sashing is going to be the shorter sashing here is going to be the width of your 9 patch. And you sew that onto your hourglass here, or you can sew it onto your 9 patch, whichever you find easier. It's this long strip here that you're going to need to worry about. I got to get the measurement for that too, come to think of it. Hold on a minute, because you're going to need that. But make sure that when you're doing this, you measure your 9 patch blocks, because your 9 patch block might not be the same size as my 9 patch. I know I have an odd measurement on this block, and it was probably because of, I noticed that some charm squares were not, they're like off by 1/8 of an inch because they were come from the factory that way. And I didn't think about that when I was cutting them. So that could be why I ended up with 16 3/4 on this, but that's okay. This is not supposed to be about perfection. It's supposed to be about doing a scrappy quilt while enjoying the process. So for this longer sashing, it's going to need to be at least 16 and a half, which that's weird. Should be 16. Yeah, this is 16 and a half. That's interesting. So how long was this one? Oh, never mind. My block is actually 16 and a half. Sorry. I don't know why I had 3/4 in my brain. But anyway, that longer strip right here, this long piece right here, that needs to be at least 16 and a half. Okay. All right. So I have already cut strips. I'm going to take one strip and I'm going to go ahead and cut them down to 4.5 inches. So I have several of them. The rest of these I'm going to cut to 16 and a half. And then I will be adding them on there. But first, what I want to do is talk about how we're going to join our hourglass, because last month when we talked about how to make the hourglass block, I showed you how to make it. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to sew these together. And you get to be as creative with your hourglasses as you want, as far as how you mix the colors. So let me show you the ones I've already finished. I showed some the other night on the live, but I'll go ahead and show you the blocks again that so far I've got done, but I still have more to sew together. So here is some samples, and I got creative with some of these. I discovered that when you're doing, because I told you guys to take 2 5-inch squares and sew them face to face, where you sewed all the way around the square and then you're cutting diagonally, that it's interesting what happens with directional fabric. And some may not know what directional means. Directional means that there's lines on the fabric, or the design is going in one direction. It's not mixed up direction. So here's an example of directional fabric. See these lines? And because of the way I created my hourglass, or the way I sewed the 2 5-inch blocks together, and then when I got ready to do the hourglass, I was able to make these lines all go in one direction. So that's what that looks like. So this is this block. Here's another one with directional in it. So I'm going to show you that. Hi, Nancy. Jody, how are you doing? Share your channel. Don't forget to hit exclamation selfie. But as you can see, like this one has directional in it, and they're all going, they're not mixed, where you've got one going. One of the things about directional is a lot of us struggle to make sure that whatever's sitting next to each other is going in the same direction. You don't want this one going that way while this one's going that way. You want to try to keep them, because it gives us, some structure to the block by doing that to it. Here you can really see the difference of it, because I put 2 directionals together. And there you have it. You got the lines going in different directions, but see, you've got these going this way. All the pink are going this way, while all the turquoise are going the other way. And so that makes a really cool block. And this is just because of the way I sewed the 2 5-inch blocks together and cutting on a diagonal. I was able to create this without having to think inside my head, well, how do I do that? And I didn't even know this was going to happen. Like I said, when I started messing around and stumbled onto being able to make half square triangles this way, I didn't know that this would be one of the results. So yeah, so I found that to be interesting. And I wish I had yardage of this. This is so cool. These 2 colors really go well together. It's just really pretty. Let's see here. And then we have another one with directional. So you'll see there's a lot of colors similar. That's because that's part of this charm pack. I used 3 charm packs, and then most of them were the same charm pack setup. And here's the dark blue with directional. And then this is dark blue with yellow, a really pale yellow. White with directional. And here's one to tease y'all's eyeballs. Oh, I think that's funny. Okay. But this is a scrappy quilt, so it's okay. It's going to all come together at the end. Okay, so for to make this, we're going to make this whole, I don't know if we'll get the whole block made tonight or not. We'll see. First thing you need to do is pull out six, just decide what you want to use. Pull out six of these hourglasses because that's what we're going to sew tonight. And then we're going to take number 7. Pick a block that you think you would like to have as your cornerstone. I'm going to probably use this one as the cornerstone. Set that aside. Pull out 6 other ones. And we're going to sew all of those together, and I'll show you how that's going to come out. You might also notice, because I noticed on one of these where I had a pinwheel right here. Where's it at? It is right here. I don't know if you can see the pinwheel right here. There's actually a pinwheel right here. You can do it where you have pinwheels if you want to, or you can just turn the block so that you don't end up with a pinwheel. It's up to you on that. I wasn't paying attention when I noticed that, so there's that. Okay. So Myra, what have you been doing in Florida this week?
Week in Florida, I have been visiting antique malls and snapping up some really awesome finds. I bought what I call a floor quilt for my new niece or great niece or nephew that's coming, and it was 50% off. So I got it for $7 and it's already quilted. I just couldn't leave it in the store when I know I have a new baby coming. And it's bright red, it's got clowns on it, and it's just happy. And then I bought a quilt top that I think was a block of the month club. I really do, because there's 12 blocks and then they bordered it in purple, and I'll play around with it. I think I'm going to hand quilt that one actually. So
That sounds like fun.
yeah, yeah.
Didn't you say you were also
Actually
shop
had some
hopping?
shop hopping for Florida. I don't know if let's see, if is it Susie? Sharon. I don't know if Sharon is participating in the All Florida Shop Hop, but I'm doing 4 regions, and so this week, tomorrow, actually, I'll be going to 3 stores in Pensacola and 1 store in Milton, Florida. And this year they're giving us, instead of fabric squares, they're giving us block patterns. And later I can go, while you're showing them, I'll go get my book so they can see my book and see what I'm talking about. But
That
I
would be
think that's
great.
neat. Some people, weren't happy that they didn't get the fabric squares, but I think these block patterns are neat. So
Awesome. I'm sure they would
yeah,
love to see that. I need more variety in here. Okay. Now I've picked up, you probably can see I'm picking out. Oh, you can't because it's sitting on top of this other. Hold on a minute. Let me move this big block out of the way so you can see my
you were
mess.
doing that on purpose.
Yeah. Yeah, now you'll be able to see what I'm choosing. So right now I'm picking out 6 for the block we're going to put together tonight. I hope we have enough time. And I'm going to probably be rotating things around until I'm satisfied with how they look. First, I'm just looking at the color. And then we're going to, because
I'll
I'm,
be right back.
okay, go ahead. All right, now we're going to do this one. Okay, so I picked 6 and I'm going to use, so let me line them up so you can actually see how this is going to look. All right, let's put these down here like this. Right now they're not sewn together, so it's going to look a little weird. This is going to be the cap up here. There'll be a sashing in between right here. And then we're going to go the other direction. I need to move these closer to the edge because this is a big block. All right. And I'm putting space in between there to accommodate for the sashings. So this is what the outside is going to look like. And let me get one of my blocks so you can see what's going on here. All right. Then we're going to put this like this. And what I want to do is I'm going to turn this one around. Okay, and then we're going to have sashing going through the middle here and through here. Okay, so what we're going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and sew these hourglasses together on both sides first. That's what I plan on doing. That way we can get this started properly. And I'm just turning things around so that it looks more, you know, kind of organized, even though it's a scrappy block. So let's go ahead and we're going to sew these three together and these three together. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will be repeating myself several times tonight because people are going to be coming in late and they're going to have questions. So bear with me on that. That's okay. But like I said, because this is not, we're not going to be finished in this quilt anytime soon. That's one of the things I'm going to mention again. The idea is to sew this because some people have decided that some that are sewing this sew along or doing this sew along are planning to make king size quilts. That means that they're doing what I'm suggesting about trying to use up as many of their charm packs as they can. Because as I was transparent with you guys, I have 141 of those suckers. So this is a great way to use up your charm packs when, especially when you bought it and you thought you were going to use it and then you just kind of forgot about it. And then later when you went back and looked, I'm like, what is I supposed to make with that? So that's one way to use it. And I'm probably going to be on a charm pack bender for a while because I have so many and I think it'll be fun to see what people come up with that have excessive amounts of them like I do. So and because I'm another reason I'm doing this is because I'm trying to stretch my yardage because I don't know when I'll be able to buy yardage. And due to all the current events that's affecting everything. So I'm going to try to be frugal here and use what I have, and we'll see how long my stash lasts. Okay, so let's go ahead and first I want to sew these three together. I'm going to put them aside and I'll turn the camera around so you can see what I'm doing. I hope I don't make anybody dizzy. Did you find what you were looking for?
I did.
All right, let me spotlight you so you can share.
While you're fixing your camera, I'll show everybody.
Yeah, let me spotlight you.
Okay.
There we go. Now everybody can see what you're doing.
Right. So this is shop hop fabric right here. And this is Florida fabric. And this is just a simple binder that I have made a quilted cover for. And these are the blocks that we get. The shop hop blocks.
Oh,
and on the back they have instructions. I'm sorry, what?
I said, oh, I wish I could get those blocks too. Oh my gosh, I would be making me a Florida quilt with those.
When I send you your magazine,
yeah,
there will be other things in the packet.
Okay, cool.
I couldn't get two of these. I couldn't get two of them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm allowed to do what I'm going to do. So I'll beg forgiveness rather than ask permission. So and I'm not going to be real vocal with it, but anyway, and then you can see on the back, it
wow.
has instructions. So anyway, I don't have every single one because I'm only going to 4 regions, but I've got block 69 and I started with block 2, but it's not all inclusive. But it's very, very pretty blocks, I think.
They are.
Very
They're
different.
exceptional.
They're I particularly like the look of that one.
Yeah, that's a friendship star.
So, well, of course, you know the name. Um,
I just happen to like that one. It's different. Hey, Jody says she said something about Pensacola. Where do you go? Dang it.
Jody said she's going to be in Florida, but I don't know where.
She said Pensacola.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, just up the road from where you're at. How
I'm
many
going to be
hours?
in Pensacola tomorrow. I won't be in Pensacola on Sunday, though, Jody. I'll be videoing or live streaming a wedding for a friend whose uncle is in Germany.
Thank you, Sharon. Sharon says that she doesn't get into too much. Her husband and her take care of his mom, and she has RA. She hesitates to make plans. She just doesn't know how she will be feeling from one day to the next.
We can relate, Sharon.
Seven more days to go. So for those of you who don't know, my husband will be home a week from tomorrow. Bar no bad weather somewhere.
Okay, for taking me off spotlight and put it back on whatever it is you're doing so we can
Thank you
see.
for reminding. Yep, thank you for reminding me. Right now I'm pinning together 2 blocks. And then I'm going to sew that first, and then I'll add that third one on.
Thanks, Jody. I'm sure it'll be fun. So do you want to put it on your other one so we can see what your hands are doing?
Yeah, the camera's already on what I'm doing. You don't see this?
But it's not spotlighted. Your hands
Oh,
aren't
you want me to
spotlighted. What?
spotlight? Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I mean, you don't have to, but and I love your face, but I'd really like to see what you're
Yeah, so
doing.
right now I'm just pinning these 2 blocks together to start with, and I'll sew them first. And then I'll add number
Okay.
3, and then we'll start the other 3. And then what I'm going to need to do is get the cutting board out, and I'm going to have to cut sashing for that corner block.
So your with your uh, sewing machine, is that an extension table or is that a special table or what?
Yeah, this is an extension table that goes with the sewing machine. It came
Okay.
with it because this is a Janome 6700P.
Well, mine has, I think, that one, and she has one of those, and I'm hoping it's going to fit my 6500.
Yeah, it should fit your 6500, possibly. I don't know why I went, but if not, then you actually can I think you can actually order one for the 6500 if I remember right.
Is that sitting on another table?
Yeah, it's sitting on a desk because I don't have a sewing table. The sewing tables that they were selling that you could use with this Janome, so here's my take about sewing tables. While I was in the United States, I think in 2022, I think it was 2022. Yeah, because Nikolaj was with me. We went to a few different sewing machine shops in California because I wanted to look at cabinets. Every cabinet has a back on it, backing on the back, underneath. And you can't stretch your legs out because you're cramped in this little cubicle up underneath the desk. And I have an issue with that. I don't want to be cramped in a little tight spot. And even the small, cheaper tables where you can drop the machine down into the table where it lays flush, it's the same problem. It's just too narrow. And I can't, this desk is probably wider than most desks anyway, but they put the drawers on the left side of this table or on the desk. And normally you see the desk drawers on the right side. I don't know whose brilliant self did this, but I bought the table already built from the store. And I constantly hit my knee on it, constantly. And I don't want a table that's going to restrict me in that way. So what we're looking for is here's what I want. I want a table that can go up and down. It doesn't have to have drawers or anything else on it because I can buy secondary cabinets for that. And be able to drop my machine down into the table so it's flush with the table, because this little extension, I'm going to have to replace it because there's legs up underneath it and they have little twist out legs that you can raise it and lower it. And this one here, because I'm constantly doing my elbows on it, I think I damaged that one. So and so sometimes it moves and it doesn't stay, even though I have mats up underneath here, it does move, which is annoying. But it keeps everything flat up here for my sewing, as far as the top part of this table. So yeah. When I if I can, I'm hoping I can get to Denmark soon so I can see if we can't figure out something concerning sewing tables. If not, then I'll just buy an IKEA desk that goes up and down and don't have the sewing machine flush. Because the reason I want it to go up and down is because I want to be able to stand and sew at times. Because standing up.
Lisa, I don't understand. Can I get a blue jacket? I don't know what that means. And Lori, I like Lakeland, but I love St. Augustine.
Somebody must want to be a moderator. I don't have very many moderators. Ace, Florida. I have maybe
Is
5.
that what a blue jacket is?
I think that's what he's talking about. A lot of channels, especially the ones that are building, like there's a lot of channels that give the wrench. I'm assuming that's what he's talking about. Hey, Andrea, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Andrea is one of them working on this so along. Okay, so I got 2 sewn together. Wow, this is going to be really tight in the middle. So as you can see, I ended up with a pinwheel right here. Uh-oh, wrong camera. See the pinwheel?
Actually.
Yeah, if you look at it, you can see it. It's there, but it's okay. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this other block here on the other side. We're going to sew that on next. Lori says she's in Lakeland and St. Augustine. She was in Lakeland and St. Augustine a few weeks ago. St. Augustine's pretty. Me and Nikolaj need to revisit it because we were when I took him to show him Florida, St. Augustine was one of the places I took him to when he came the first time. Took him to see the Spanish Castillo. If you like traveling videos, I'm your guy. Yep. I've been watching your video. You can share your channel link at Ace Florida. Type exclamation selfie. Any of you who have channels, you're welcome to share your channel link.
Does anyone know the story of the 2 lovers tree in St. Augustine?
No, because I didn't even hear about that. There's a tree there?
So there is a palm tree and a pine tree, and the palm tree is growing up through the pine tree.
Oh, wow.
And, yes, Jacksonville is an awesome zoo. That's where I got my first real kiss with my husband, in front of the water buffalo. Anyway, my husband used to be a tour bus operator. And so he, they share stories, and he knew about this story back during the days way, way back in the 1600s when St. Augustine was new. They had a influenza epidemic, and everybody was dying. And this American, or not American, but this Spanish soldier fell in love with this Native American person, and nobody would let them in. A, because she was sick, and B, because she was an Indian. They wouldn't let her in. And so they sat down underneath a pine tree, and he wrapped his arms around her, and she died in his arms. And so from that tree, a palm tree grew out. And so that's called the Tree of Lovers. And it's said, if you kiss in front of the Tree of Lovers, you'll be with your love through eternity, for always and forever.
What a cool story.
So yes, Bill and I have locked lips in front of the Tree of Lovers.
Okay, so I've got this first set of three sewn together. Now we're going to do the next set of three. Andrea, how are you doing on your quilt? I mean the sew along.
Yeah, it's a sad, sweet story, Sharon.
That pine tree must have had damage done to it at some point for that seed to find its way inside of it. Is it a sable palm growing through the middle of it?
Well, you would know, but I don't know those things. Y'all, not only is this woman a sewist extraordinaire, she also, would it be called a botanist? Would it be called a
It's more like a
tree
master,
lady?
more like a master
It's,
gardener, maybe. But I actually have a
well,
college
anyway,
degree.
she knows her flora and fauna. I'm telling you, she knows. She can look at a palm tree, and she knows all the different ones they have. Hello, Sylvia. Welcome, welcome.
Hey,
She can
Sylvia.
tell you the names of all the different ones. It's so cool.
Yep, I know my Latin. You know what's fun is over here we have two birch species here, which is Betula, and in Florida we have the river birch, which is called the Betula nigra. And nigra means black. So if you look at the tree, you can see behind the bark it's a dark color. But anyway, we have two different species here, and every time and I'm like, wow, something I have in Florida is same genus but different species. And it's the same thing here. We have three types of willows that grow here. Florida has two. They have the weeping willow and they have the Carolina willow. And but the Carolina willow gets massive, but the weeping willow is a small ornamental tree. Here we have the Arctic willow, and then there's a shrub form and a ground cover form. And you can tell that they're willows just by looking at them. But what I didn't know until I moved here was that you can actually root semi-hard wood here. So you can go outside, cut one that's semi-hard, put it in the ground, and within weeks it's got roots growing out the bottom of it. That's the beauty of living in the Arctic. The Arctic knows how to keep on going.
Gladys, welcome, welcome, the confident quilter. So how do you know what's a hardwood or a softwood?
Softwood trees. Most of them are all. I'm not sure if the sequoia. Well, I know the redwood softwood. I'm not sure if the sequoia is, but most cone-bearing trees are all softwood and they grow really fast. Hardwoods are oaks, maples,
Okay.
sycamore. No, sycamore is a softwood. Sorry. Um, the tulip tree was the one I was trying to come up with. And we learned that in class. When a tree takes 100 years to get huge, that's a hardwood tree. If a tree can get really tall within, say, 20 years, that's a softwood tree. So a good
Slash
example is,
pine.
yeah, well, a sycamore tree grows exponentially fast. That's a softwood tree. Redwood trees are softwood. They're very soft. They're not used for, they don't build houses out of. I know they use pine for building framing houses, but the extreme soft stuff's more for cabinetry and stuff like that, except for pine. And the other thing I bet you didn't know is on conifers, and when I say conifer, I mean anything that's cone bearing. They only have they don't have what hardwood trees have. Hardwood trees have two cambiums, and a cambium has a makeup of a water pipe that goes up the tree and one that goes down the tree, and then in the center of the tree it has the second cambium, and it goes up and down to feed the tree. And if lightning hits a hardwood tree, and I know you've seen this, Myra, because we're from Florida and it happens all the time. You'll see an oak tree that might be like I had one in my yard where the first 10 feet from the ground to about 10 feet up, it was solid all the way through. And then from that 10-footer to 50 feet, it had a hollowed out middle, but the outside was living. And then up above that, it was back to being solid all the way through. And what had happened is lightning had hit it and damaged the central cambium when the tree was growing. Now, if you were to take an axe and go all the way around that tree and cut that exterior cambium off, a 2-inch cut all the way around where the bark can't send the, because the bark and the cambium on that outside part of the tree sends nutrients up and down the tree. And when you cut it all the way, it's called girdling it, that tree on the outside will die. But the inside won't, because it has that secondary thing. If you did that to a pine tree, the pine tree would be dead within a year just for doing that, because it doesn't have that capability to maintain itself. And how many, I want to ask a question. Let's see how many knows. Does anyone know what the palm tree trunks are made from? Let's see who knows the answer. And don't go look it up. Think about how a palm tree starts out. I'm going to give you a hint. What makes a palm tree a palm tree? Then think about the trunk related to what makes a palm tree a palm tree. Yes. So what is the palms made of? What are palm leaves? Well, I just gave you the answer there. Shit. So anyway, the reason palms can live forever is because of the way the trunk is made. But if the bud is damaged either by a hard freeze or by borer weevils.
Excuse me, Nico alert, Nico alert.
Hey, honey. No, it's made from leaf. The whole trunk is leaf material. So as a palm tree expands, it basically reuses it's all leaf material that hardens over time. And the only thing that's running up and down that palm tree is water pipes. It's all little phloem tubes that go up and down that thing. It does not have a cambium at all.
Cool. Thank you for sharing.
I love talking about plants. How's the weather, honey? Is it warm still up there, or has it got cold again? We're playing chicken with Mother Nature, or Old Man Winter doesn't want to leave us alone.
Hi, Robin Marie. Welcome,
Robin.
welcome.
Did I miss anyone? I don't think so. So anyway, I'm so
yes, Jody, she is so smart. Seriously, she is.
Y'all, I've been growing plants since I was 11, so I should know this though. Going to school though, learning the Latin names, I knew common names. Common names are like relative. What? Trying to think. that relative's probably the wrong word. Some people will call one tree this one name, and then someone else will call, just a generic name. Like, um, we call, in Florida, we have a tree, oak tree called a live oak. That's a common name. Most people call it that, but if you go to North Carolina, they call it something else, but it's
Right.
still the same tree.
Andrea just said she was working on her project, but just had a phone call from her brother, and her sister-in-law was just placed on hospice.
Aww.
And my heart's right there with you, Andrea. Hey, Nico, love you, buddy.
Uh-oh, the wind has come. I noticed that the wind's blowing outside here too, honey. It's not hard right now, but the chimes are singing. Myra, I can hear you. Oh, yeah, see, I knew someone was going to say something. There we go. Sorry, guys. I had the spotlight on so
You
y'all could see what
changed
I
your
was.
view.
Yep, because someone wanted to see your face. Robin says, I can hear you, but I can't see you. So I took it off spotlight so they could see you.
Oh,
What kind
thanks. But I like the spotlight on you.
of Are you sewing on anything?
Me?
Yeah.
No, babe. I just got here. I drove up. Um, I left Central Florida this morning and drove here.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I will be sewing on when is it, on is Saturday, right?
Yep. You're coming on Saturday with me. Yep.
Yes, so I will be sewing on Saturday.
How many do we have in here now? Hey, honey, can you see how many's watching? Because I'm trying to, because I want to revisit the instructions for this sew along. Because some have
Hey,
just come
welcome
in.
in, Joyce.
Hey, Joyce. Good to see you. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide over. I forgot to turn the iron on. Oops. I'm going to slide over and put some heat on this so these will lay down flat. I'll be right back.
She's sliding. I'm going to show y'all this quilt. Can y'all see me? This quilt top that I picked up at that store. And it's 3 blocks wide and it's 4 blocks long. So there's the first block, and I really think it was a block of the month because all the blocks are different. Can y'all see that?
Yeah, they're seeing it because I spotlighted it. Do you know what size that thing is?
Uh-uh. No. And then the next set of 3 blocks is that one, and that one. Now, not to make you dizzy, there's a block, and there's a block, and there's a block. And then the last set of blocks, well, no, not the last. Let's see. That's a block, and that's a block, and that's a block. And then we have one in the middle that I've folded that nobody could see. So let's see if I can figure that one out. So there's that one and that one. And I really like the looks of that one and that one. So 12 blocks. I think it probably was a block of the month for somebody. And for whatever reason, they didn't want it. So I picked it up for $15 and didn't measure anything, didn't cut anything, and it doesn't hurt my feelings.
I think that quilt top's pretty.
Thank you.
Are you going to quilt it yourself?
Yeah, I think I'm going to hand quilt that one. Just quilt in the ditch, simple.
Sounds like a good plan.
I thought about just tying it, but I'm going to use it for when I'm watching TV because that's about how big it is. It's I guess I could go. It's three across, 3 blocks across, and it's 4 blocks long, which is, since I'm only almost 5'3", that's just perfect for me to cuddle up in front of the TV. So
Sounds like a good plan. Ooh, this iron's hot now.
yeah.
I almost have it pressed here. Just give me a minute. So what's the temperature right now in Florida?
81 in the Panhandle.
Ooh, it's already heating up.
I found it in an antique mall in Inverness, Florida. Thanks, Jean. Yay, Sylvia's husband's ferry just arrived.
Nora.
Oh, Robin, you didn't see it. I did.
Nora.
Can you see my see what I did? This is the
Yeah.
plastic binder. And these are the cards.
Oh.
Oh, it's around 83 in Gainesville. It's supposed to get to 90 like tomorrow in Central Florida.
Golly.
I know.
It's gonna come roaring in before summer even gets there, huh?
Well, I'm wearing a sleeveless dress to that wedding, so I want it to be nice up here. Thank you, Sharon. It's oranges. The binder, it probably looks peach, but they're all orange colors. Different shades. Oh goodness, Sylvia says it's 44 and Joyce is at 34. Where are y'all? Thanks, Robin.
Probably somewhere up north.
Aw.
Because our temperature today is, hang on a minute. Breaking news, Florida State University, 43 degrees. What's going on at I heard.
There was a shooter, an active shooter on the campus of Florida State in Tallahassee. 4 people were hospitalized. Oh, Wyoming. Oh,
that's so not
nice.
Cool.
No, that is not cool.
Okay. All right. So let me get this set up here so you guys can see. All right. Hold on a minute. Let me show you what this is going to look like. All right.
Sharon, you don't have to say exactly where you are. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. We We're not.
Oh, Sylvia's in Southeast Alaska. So south is Anchorage, east, Palmer, Seward, east, Sitka, Juneau, Eagle
Okay.
River.
Okay, now I'm going to interrupt. All right. Okay, so now I've sewn all the 2 sets of 3s right here. Here's the 3 sewn together here and the 3 sewn together here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut a 4.5 inch sashing for right here. And then I'm also going to cut the width of this 9 patch for a sashing. Remember, I'm using 1 inch sashing. It's up to you that are doing yours, whether you want to stick with the 1 inch or if you want to make it bigger. I saw someone gave me a sneak peek of her block. She used, I think, 1.5. So it's, remember, you are designing this. That block needs turning, looks like. It's okay. It'll be all right. All right, so I'm going to turn the camera around and let y'all have a good look at the block while I go cut some sashing. I've got the sashing cut. I just need to reduce it down, which means I need to measure this block. Let's see what size this is. 12.25. Okay. So you're gonna your block should be around 12.25 or 12 inch on the 9 patch, according to how you sew. So make sure that your sashing is cut to the length of the one side, because you'll need the sashing that's going to go between the 3. Hang on, let me spotlight so you see what I'm talking about.
Thank you, Sharon.
I don't want anyone confused. Okay, so we have, as you can see right here, we have our 9 patch here. We have the 3 already sewn together, hourglass here, and the 3 sewn together over here on this side, and then this head block. Okay, so with the sashing on one side of your 4 patch and your 3 patch, you're going to use a shorter sashing. You're also going to have a 4.5 inch sashing for this side right here. Okay, and you'll see where I'm going with this. Then you're going to have a long one, which is going to be 16.5 is what you're going to need. And it's going to go in between like this and go all the way the length of the block. And there is how it should look.
That's not white. What's the pattern? Sis, what's the pattern? I thought it was white, but it's not.
No, it's not. It's white, but not white.
Well, I mean, oh, how pretty is that? Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's what I'm using for this.
Oh,
okay.
nice.
So what I'm going to do is, because I'm trying to build this block so you can see it, I'm going to go ahead and cut me some 4.5 inch. Take one of my strips that I've cut from yardage. Now I cut my sashing from yardage, as you can see, with the fabric. Now I'm going to go cut some that are 4.5 inch and some that are 12.5 inch. And then this longer one should be 16.5. And yeah, I need to, let me put that in the chat. Okay, hold on. Because someone, for those of you who are doing this and trying to stay within what I'm doing, which I said you didn't have to do, but if you want the measurements, here's the measurements for the sashing. You're going to cut
welcome.
You're going to cut 1.5 inch width of fabric strip. Then you're going to subcut some of it.
Welcome.
Four and a half. Then you're going to subcut I need to sit down to do this. Typing standing up sucks when you're bending over. Then you're going to, oh yeah, okay. Then subcut some strips into 16.5 inch. and sewn in 12.5-inch strip, or yeah. That's the measurements if you want to write it down. I will also post it over on the community tab in case you got lost. Okay. Hi. Hello, Kristen. Hello, everyone that I didn't say hi to. And also, if you want to share your channel, I have posted what to do in the chat. I'll be right back. Let me go get some subcutting done here. Be right back. And I'm going to turn the camera off for a few minutes. Well, not off, just off the spotlight. That way y'all can see Myra and her pretty face.
Katie, I have a question.
What?
You put in there 1.5, which would make it a 1-inch strip.
Sorry, that's supposed to be 1 inch. Sorry.
That's
oh my
okay.
God. Thank you for clarifying.
Hey, that's what I'm here for.
Let me fix that. Good thing you said something. I don't know why I put 1.5. That sucks. Let me fix that. Ignore the first set, you guys. There we go. Now this is the correct one.
Copied and pasted.
I did.
I'm good. Shoot, you're good that way.
Yeah. Especially when I'm on a computer.
It's Andy.
Is Andy in the channel?
Well, Joyce said hello. So did Kristen.
Her name would be, wait. Is it with an I or a Y?
I.
Okay, Crafty Witch. Yep, that's me.
Okay.
Okay. All right. First set is 16. Did I say 16.5 or 16.25?
16.5.
Okay.
Because that's how long your block is.
Yeah. And then I have some I have to do for 12.5. Then we need some 4.5.
Right. Hi, Izzy. Welcome, welcome. Katie's away from the camera cutting up some strips.
Okay, I'm back now. All right, so I'm gonna put this back where you can see what I'm doing. Okay. So I cut a 4.5. It's gonna go right here in between this head block here. Then the 16.
Change your camera or your view.
So I'm putting the 4.5 here. Then I'm going to put my 16.5 here, because this is going to be the long piece. And then the 12.5 inch one is going to go up here between, oops, gotta be careful here. right between this section right here. So what I'm going to do is we're going to sew the sashing onto the hourglass set of 3 here. I'm going to put the sashing on this one block. Then we will sew this whole thing. Then we're going to join this section to the 9 patch, this single block to this set of 3. Then we will sew this section to this section last. Hi, Kristen. Hi, Andy. Hi, Izzy.
Katie,
Yeah.
did you do 16 inches
16 and a half.
or 16 and a half?
Yep, I did.
Check it out,
It's
but
correct.
check out how it's laid out.
I know it looks short right now, but remember I have to sew these together. You'll see when I get them sewn.
That'll take up that ½ inch. Oh,
Yes,
you're
it
so
will.
smart.
All right, so let
Robin,
me.
I'm not sewing. I just got a new computer, literally just got it last night and took it in to have everything loaded this morning or when I got into town. And so I don't have anything set up. I'll be sewing on Saturday.
Yeah, because she's going to join me Saturday. Whoever asked that, Robin. Yeah. All right. So up in the, how many of you are in here? Those of you that are in here. Whoa, what's the deal here? Let's see. Oh, it's okay. I thought for a minute I cut it too short, but no, I didn't. Andy, you don't have another email? I want to invite you to the live to help me, says Izzy. I need some. Oh, my quilted clips are not in here. Darn it. They're in the bedroom. That's not a good place for them. So I'll just stick a pin in here. So what I did is I pinned this corner to corner first, and then I'm going to line everything up. Myra, what project you plan on working on Saturday?
Through with those blasted card holders, so I may just continue sewing in circles. I don't know.
How many more do you got left to do?
I don't have a clue. But I'm 2/3 through though, so probably only about 15.
Okay.
Andy,
I think that's
Izzy was wanting you to come into her channel.
what?
Andy was asking what the question was, and I was telling her that Izzy was wanting to invite her to a live to help her.
Izzy, where are you watching the live from? And we next Tuesday at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time, I will be doing a live where we're going to be crocheting, and we'll be crocheting with Andy and Shonda, who is also a quilter. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is, Robin. There's something going on with YouTube that's not sending out notifications. So right now I'm just pinning the sashing on, and I'm probably gonna have to turn the camera. Yeah, let me turn the camera. You can see that's what I'm doing. There we go. I'm pinning the sashing on right now. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing with the smaller piece as well. That way I can chain sew at the same time instead of stopping and then going back and pinning again. I'll pin both sections together first. Okay, so now I've got this all pinned. Oops, I didn't want to take that one out. Just this one. Okay. Now let's go ahead and put this little 4-inch sashing right here on here. 4.5 inch, sorry.
On Saturday at my local quilt shop, Quilted Twins,
Yeah.
which I get no kickback from, but I love them with my whole heart. They're only 15 minutes from my house. But I went to a class there on making a jelly roll placemat or rug. It was quite interesting, but I did a lot of the chain stitching, and I bought this little thing that you put um a roller cutter, you put the blade in, and then
Yeah.
you can just cut all those chain stitched pieces. I thought it was cool.
You know, I have what you're talking about, only it's like in a flower or something. But I don't know. I use scissors for some strange reason. Mostly I can't because I try to conserve thread, so my tails in between each chain piece is pretty short. And I don't, I don't know that if I can actually cut them on one of those or not.
Yeah, I only had like less than a half inch, maybe a fourth inch in between my chain pieces, but it worked good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. Waldo is in Central Florida, kind of Central Florida above Gainesville, just saying.
Isn't that up above Palatka or something?
Yes, it's north of Palatka. Waldo and Mayo are speed traps in the state of Florida. I'm
Yes,
just
they
saying.
are.
But the Waldo with the funny glasses and the red and white shirt, I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him in ages.
There's Voldo. Okay, now I have the sashing sewn on two sides of this. What I'm going to do is take it over to the iron and we're going to press it. And then we're going to join 2 more sections before we put that really long sashing in. So I'm going to turn the camera back off spotlight for a couple minutes because I have to move stuff to get to the iron. I'll be right back. I've been trying to find one of those little mini irons, Myra, but they don't seem to be sold over here in my neck of the woods. Like in Denmark. It's the oddest thing. Still there? Can't hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you are. Now I hear you.
Sharon's leaving us to restart YouTube. Not sure why.
Probably having trouble. I about had a heart attack when I brought my laptop up and I couldn't log into my YouTube studio because apparently it rebooted itself to do an update, and every time Avest does an update, it knocks me out of my login stuff. Chrome doesn't do that. You come back to what you had. I think I'm gonna have to order me another seam roller because I think I've broke both of them. Something inside of the mechanism, it'll get stuck. Probably because of my excessive use of them. Okay, so now I have the sashing on. So let me show you. I'm gonna turn the camera again. Sorry, I'm not trying to make everybody dizzy. All right. Okay. So now I have this on the sashing on sewn to the 3 hourglasses and onto uh the corner block. So what I'm
Taurus.
gonna do. Okay, she's back. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew this to the 9 patch, and I'm going to sew this corner to the other 3 um hourglasses. So turn the camera around so you can see what I'm doing. We're going to be playing dizzy.
Myra, she can't see me. When Katie spotlights someone or spotlights one of her areas, then I go away.
She's still here, but you can hear her. But I already
Yeah.
turned the spotlight off, so there's a delay here.
Oh, Linda, I'm glad you're feeling better and welcome back.
Hey, Linda, I'm glad to hear you're feeling better. What you having for dinner? You know what I made? I made soup yesterday, day before yesterday. Yeah, day before yesterday. And I spent the last 2 days eating soup. I have just enough maybe for a small snack tonight, and then I'll have to fix something edible. Oh, speaking of something,
Karen Robin calls me Waldo because she can't see me. She can only hear me. I wish I was as tall and slim as Waldo. That would be way cool. You had a cop follow you through Waldo in Waldo, Florida, and you didn't get a ticket? That's wild. Good for you. Oh, Izzy can see both of us. Okay.
Yeah, the camera's already caught up, or the channel's already caught up.
Oh, okay. Izzy's in the hospital.
Who is?
Izzy.
Oh no! I hope everything's going to be okay. Linda says she made baked chicken breast with Alfredo sauce. Ooh, that sounds yummy. I need to learn how to make homemade Alfredo sauce because I can't buy Alfredo sauce over here.
Isn't there cheese in it?
Yeah, it's got cheese in it. I just need to know how to make it. I just know I'm not sure what cheese is in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
For some reason, I'm kind of thinking it might be Parmesan or either mozzarella one. I'm thinking Parmesan.
Yeah, it wouldn't be mozzarella because it'd be real stringy.
Well,
And Alfredo is
not in a cheese sauce, it wouldn't. I'm thinking it might be. The thing is with Alfredo, it has a strong taste to it, so it makes me think it might be Parmesan.
I agree. But I can't look it up right now because I've got a chat open, you see.
Yep, it's okay. Yeah, we're all hoping you get fast healing there, Izzy.
And I hope you have wonderful staff like I've had lately, so that's good. And I second Joyce's praying for you.
I wonder if Nikolaj's still in here. Let me look and see. Because he's probably, let's see, what time is it? He's working.
No, I think he left.
Oh, no, let me look. Did he say bye?
No.
At Nikolaj. He's still in here.
Oh, okay.
He's just working probably.
Very
which makes,
quiet.
yeah, so he's probably giving me watch hours by leaving his phone going. Because my watch hours have dropped down. It's weird. I take a week off for self-care and I lose 3,000 views. Just like that. And my watch hours drops down to half.
You know, some of us don't have a clue what you're talking about.
It's part of what keeps the channel monetized, you know, where it's I can do things with it. You get there's extra things you can do by being monetized.
Linda says she uses the app All Recipes, and there's a lot of old grandma recipes on there.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, Katie, it doesn't matter that you lost that. It will bounce right back up, and you must take care of you, or you can't give out to us.
That's right. We don't, you know, that I started feeling better about 3 days ago, I guess, in my head. But while I was taking time off, I wasn't hardly on well, I had Facebook and stuff going, but I wasn't watching any YouTube hardly, other than I'd come in here and set this laptop to watch people's playlists to give them watch hours. And then I walked back out again. I was watching movies. That's all I was doing was watching movies. I took a couple days into town. I walked out.
Sometimes that's a wonderful,
Yep, gets my mind
sometimes that's a
off.
wonderful mental break.
Yep, because it's getting my mind off of things. That's why I didn't know what was going on in the University of Florida until I don't know 3 or 4 hours ago, and I kind of forgot about it because I didn't want to get all you know.
It was Florida State University.
Florida State, not University of Florida. Okay, gotcha. Right up the road from you.
What you didn't see is I was doing the chop and mouthing Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! Because I'm an alumni. I graduated from Panama City campus with both my bachelor's and my master's. So
yeah, that's awesome. I wish I could have gotten my bachelor's done at least. Too late now.
no, it's not.
I still, I have I might could get most of the bachelor's finished without, by doing it online, but the one where it requires, like because I was working on a bachelor's towards science. I think there's a couple of labs, and I don't know how you accomplish doing a lab from afar. Unless my AA labs cover for that, which if that's the case, then that would be good. Because I did all my lab stuff for my AA part.
So Robin is letting us know that Alfredo is made of Parmesan and Romano cheeses.
Okay, then that's doable over here. I can get both those, or I can get where it says Parmesan Romano together. Because I think I want to learn how to make it because broccoli Alfredo is yummy, and so is chicken Alfredo with broccoli.
So is shrimp Alfredo.
Or shrimp Alfredo, that's right. Oh, our case of shrimps came this week. When Nikolaj gets home, I see shrimp scampi in our future. Because he sent home some shrimps. Which I am very happy about. People are already putting their boats in the water here, but it's still very cold. And I was talking to Torben. He's the friend that we go out on the boat with all the time because him and his wife have a boat. Um, he was telling me that there's still quite a bit of sea ice on the down where the hot springs and stuff is at. Okay, I have sewn the sashing on. I have this sashing on, and I have sewn this portion onto the 9 patch. So I'm going to take it over to the iron and press it. And I'll be right back. Uh-oh. No, I want to leave that like that.
With this class that I took on Saturday, y'all, we were supposed to use 2.5 strips from well, in America, it's called Jelly Roll if a certain company makes it. I don't know, but anyway, 2.5-inch strips, long strips with the fabric strips, and then batting 2.5 inches or 2 1/4. But I bought 2.5 already cut, and I wasn't going to cut off a fourth of it. Blah, not going to do it. And then we had a tube making apparatus. The company Clover makes a 4-piece one. 2 pieces snap into each other, and then it's kind of like if you've ever used a binding tool. But I bought mine. I didn't buy the Clover one because they were all plastic, and I thought, you know what? I'm really good at breaking plastic things. So I bought a metal one from another company, and I can't remember what it is right at this moment. Anyway, and it looks like a metal binder, but it's not. It's a tube maker. And it's a little awkward to start, but once you get it started, it folds that piece in on itself and then up like that, so you can just sew the side of your tube. So I liked sewing the long strips together at an angle, and then I liked making the tube. What I didn't do very successfully, and I didn't finish my project during the time allotted in class, was sewing it into the placemat or into the rug. That was really, really hard for me. And then to compound it toward the end, my sewing machine just started acting funny. Even though I had a denim needle, I had a walking foot. But anyway, so I just kind of 10 minutes before class was over, I just, it wasn't fun. So I stepped away from it, and I brought it here to mom's with me. So I may or may not work on that Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to work on, but yeah.
Sometimes just taking a break helps.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Especially
before I start sewing again with the Janome, I'm gonna see if I can't make sure I've got my lint and stuff out of it.
Yep. That's the one thing I do. I don't really have any negative things to say about my Janome. But the one thing I do know is when it gets dirty, it lets you know about it. It starts acting out.
Yeah, and that was a real linty project because of the batting. So I'm afraid, it may have had all it could take. So
Did I tell you about walking up my machine for the first time?
no.
Oh my God, it scared the crap out of me. So what happened was, um, I had the presser foot up. I was getting ready to put the I put a leader in ahead of blocks, and I noticed that my foot pedal was far away because a certain dog, which right now she's pushed it back again. So I moved it, and while I was adjusting things, I didn't realize that she had gone back to sleep, and her head was on part of my foot, the foot pedal. So as you know, when you have the foot up on a Janome, the sew machine doesn't do anything. It's, you can't sew, or you can't even
Right.
put the needle down. So when
Right.
I dropped that foot at the same time as putting my foot on the pedal, and I didn't know she was on it, and the leader was being pushed through, I somehow caught the leader in the wrong way with the needle and caused the needle to crash into the presser plate. And the sewing machine made this weird noise, and there's this thing on the screen. You cannot do blah 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 or something. It was some, and when I tried to use the hand wheel, it wouldn't turn. And so I had to
Yeah, I
basically,
had an error on mine too, and I had to look it up on my phone.
yeah. And so I ended up having to take all of that. I took the presser foot off. Then I took the presser foot plate off, took the bobbin out, thinking maybe I had damaged the bobbin or something. And I had a really good look at the bobbin, and I'm like, well, I don't see nothing wrong here. And then I decided, well, since I
Sharon, be well. Sorry,
take care,
Sharon's
Sharon.
leaving us.
Okay, have a good night, Sharon. So then I decided, well, since I have all this stuff out, let's go ahead and at least semi-clean it. And so I did that. Then I looked at the needle, and I'm like, uh-oh, that's bent. So I replaced the needle. Now, I still had the presser foot off. So when I put the needle on, I went to take the hand wheel and turn it. It wouldn't move. And I'm like, now what? Because everything looked fine on the inside. And then I'm like, wait, I don't have the presser foot on. Because sometimes this machine is finicky. If the foot is off, you're not going to do anything. So I put the foot back on. I still had the foot plate off because I wanted to make sure things were turning inside. And I turned the hand wheel, and then it let me put the needle down. I'm like, oh, thank God. That scared me because this is my only good machine. That's the first time I had done, and that was because a certain critter
just laying under there. She was just laying under there.
Yeah. You know what? When we get moved into the craft room, I'm going to be bending Nikolaj's ear. I want to make two up off the floor. I want to take wood and build her a doggy bed. Two of them, one for the bedroom and one for the sewing room, and then I can hand make
Vintage
cushions.
Style by Joe says, hi, Katie and chat. Been lurking and driving. Glad you're back.
Thank you. Yep, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you. It's good to see you, Joe. So anyway, I want to build them up off the floor because the floor is heated. And I noticed she has in the hallway, we have this yoga mat that's on the floor. She's gotten where she's not laying on it. And I'm beginning to think that maybe it's too warm. Maybe the reason she's not laying on it, or it smells too much like Coda, which bothers her. I'm not sure what the deal is, but she's not wanting to use it. So, and I'm decided that I'm going to move her out of the foyer altogether. And at nighttime when I kick her out of the bed, because I can't deal with her sleeping with me. And so I was talking to Nikolaj. I said, we have that big trunk in our bedroom. We can move that trunk to the foyer, and it'll clear out that whole space, and we could make her a bed, put that bed there with nice cushions and everything like she likes, and I'll make her some small blankets so she can get up underneath it, or give her one of our smaller blankets we have that I don't care if she destroys it or not. And she'll have one in there, and she'll have one in the sewing room. That way, maybe she'll stop camping out underneath my table. But don't hold my breath on that, because she might do it. That might not matter. She might still want to be under it because she likes being close to me. Okay, here we are. We have one strip left to sew. So I just wanted to show you where I was at on this. So this has been sewed. These two pieces have now been sewn together right here. And this piece has been sewn. So now all I got to do is sew that very long strip right there. So I'm going to start out sewing it to this piece first. And then we'll join the other side to it. Okay. This is going to be so cute. When does Nikolaj come home? He comes home a week from tomorrow, Friday, April the 25th. I cannot wait. I need some snuggle time with my honey. Plus, I want him to take, I want to go out and do a little, the snow's not gone, but the roads, a lot of the roads are now clear of snow. And so I want to get out and get back into my walking regiment. And also get a certain other dog, critter in this house walking again, because he's got a little bit fat. I've been thinking about seeing if I could find a breeder in Canada to get another puppy from. If I can find a good breeder, that is. Can't get any dogs from Russia anytime soon, so.
Denmark doesn't have any breeders?
Oh, they have breeders, all right, but they ask 2 times the price for their dogs, and I refuse to pay 3,000 euros. Yeah, 3,000 euros for a Dachshund from Denmark. No thanks. Not when I can pay. Not when I can pay 1,000 euros for one. And the only reason they're so
Have you
priced.
washed the yoga? Hang on, Robin asked, have you washed the yoga mat?
No, I haven't. Maybe I need to take it outside and do that. It's a really big one. Maybe get the smell of him off of her, and maybe no, I hadn't thought of that, Robin, but that might be what it is. She smells him. And it could be what the problem is.
Do all the houses, are all the houses in your community have heated floors?
No, this house didn't have heated flooring until 2000. When did we do the renovation on the house?
And how do they heat the floor?
Okay, so I'll answer both those questions. So we did a renovation on our house, I think in, I want to say 2017, I believe. And when we did the renovation, because we had the back on the back half of the house from the cold room, which is where this wall is you see right here, it goes all the way the other direction. And so from that wall this way on the back of the house, part of the roof was lower than the rest of the roof on the rest of the house. So when you walked in the cold room or walked into the bathroom, you had the back half was wasted because you couldn't stand up in there, and we could manage to squeeze a washing machine around behind this sub wall that this person who built this house put in there. And so when we did the renovation, we had the roof raised, we had the sub walls taken out because there was 2 sub walls in the bathroom, and we had both sub walls took out. And when we were doing all of that, we made the decision that we wanted to switch the whole house except the cold room to heated flooring. And we also upgraded to a new boiler, which turned out to be a lemon. And
hello,
so
Jess. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But what is a cold room?
A cold room here in Greenland is where back in the day that on the back half of that particular room used to be this opening that would let extreme cold air into that small room, and you could store meat in it. And all, yeah, and it's called a cold room. And so there is no heat in there, but that window that probably was there at one point or another is no longer there. And so, but the room it stays cooler than all the rest of this house because there's no heat in there. So in the winter months, it's very cold in there, but not cold enough to cause anything to freeze up. So I store spices and canned goods and things like that in there along with my fabric, his Legos. I mean, we have a lot of stuff sitting in that room. And but that's why it's called a cold room.
So do y'all have much humidity?
Right now our humidity is at, because we're 43 degrees. Go away. Oh, oh, it's going to start raining. I thought it looked like it was going to snow, but they're saying rain. I've seen humidity up to 83%, and then I've seen it where it was 33%. It just depends, because it depends on if the snow is dry or wet. And I have seen wet snow.
Yes.
You can always tell when it's wet snow because it sticks to everything.
We're at 39% humidity today.
For Florida, that's rare.
I know. That's awesome.
Hi, Jess. Okay, so as to what we heat with, we have a boiler down in the basement, and we use fuel oil to fuel the boiler. And all of the flooring has water that runs through it. So there's this what they call subflooring. A subflooring plate's been put in, and sitting on top of it is all these water pipes, and then sitting on top of that is in different areas is these metal systems that have wires that come out of it that talk to the thermostat, and to, because we have a computer system down in our boiler room, and it talks to that down there, and it's able to determine what the temperature is inside the house. And then on top of that is another thinner layer of a subfloor, and then we have wood floors on top of that. And so it heats all of the house. The bathroom has tile on the top of the subfloor, and out of all the rooms in the house, that room we keep cranked up because I can't stand cold tile. But the rest of this house, like right now, in fact, I got in trouble. I told Nikolaj to turn the thermostat down in the rest of the house, and he's like, it's too soon. And then about 4 days ago, I'm like, you know what? This is the first time you're going to hear me say this, but you're right. I should not have done that, because the whole house was cold, because we had wind coming from the north and the temperature was minus 10 degrees or something. It was cold. And when I got out of because this house, on the other side of this wall is our bedroom. And that side of the house, both the bedroom and the craft room, are the warmest rooms in this entire house. So I'm in there sweating to death. And I'm like, it's too hot in this house. So I could turn the thermostat down. Then I wake up the other morning and I'm like, I'm cold. And you never hear me say that.
It's not language you use often.
No, I complain a lot about being hot these days. I have adapted to the Arctic weather, I think. So that's why I haven't tried to come to the US during the summer months, because I think I would die or feel like I was dying anyway. But California, I've been in California during the summer months, and I didn't think it was all that bad there. But with Florida, you got humidity playing around, and it is so excruciating hot. The weird thing is, as much as humidity triggers my asthma, the summer months was not as bad with my asthma as spring and fall are. Man, my asthma would be crazy during that time of the year in Florida, North Florida anyway. Because have you ever seen Christmas, Florida? I lived there for 2 years. So you can, yeah, my dad bought 2 acres of land there, and we lived there for a couple of years, and then they decided they wanted to, but it was kind of silly to buy land when you're working in Jacksonville. And so he was being gone through the week in Jacksonville and coming home on the weekends. And one day, I guess him and mom, after mom had Mike, I guess they made the decision that, we're not doing this anymore. We're moving to North Florida. And when we moved to North Florida, I thought I was going to die because my asthma got horrible. See, because in Christmas, this is how it is. You have Christmas, you have the St. John's River, and then you have the ocean, and the ocean air would travel over the top of the St. Johns River straight into Christmas, Florida. So I was always getting, for the most part, salt air. So my asthma was more exercise induced than anything. It wasn't environmentally induced. And then when we moved to North Florida, it was like this drastic, huge change where, I missed a ton of school the first 6 months I was up there, and because my asthma just was uncontrollable, and my dad wouldn't let my mother take me to the doctor because he thought it was all in my head. And
So welcome, Sherry. Good to see you.
hey, Sherry, we had a good time the other night on working on that quilt, didn't we, Sherry? I can't wait until I'll be working on that baby for a while now because I have got the bug. Now that I know what to do, I just got to figure out how. I already know how I'm going to finish doing the center. I started it already, but I want to figure out how I can do the blue part of the star, doing something similar, but don't get too expanded with it because there's not a lot of space with those legs.
It's talking about hand quilting that she and Sherry were doing a video or I don't know what y'all call it. Live. Thank you. I don't know the vernacular, but anyway, they were doing a great job earlier in the week on that.
Yep. And we're taking May off because Sherry's quilting a lot of Brad quilts, so there's no time to do the finish up video. So we'll be doing the finish up video in June, probably about the middle, around the third week probably. And that'll be us. She's going to show us how to hand bind the binding, and we sew it on one side, but with the machine. But you're going to hand bind closing it. She's going to walk us through that, and then we will have a hand quilted quilt. I'm almost got this on here now, and then we'll be ready to sew the other side to make this whole block come together. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the iron.
Highlight what you're doing.
Uh-oh, I just knocked things off. Hang on. So what I'm going to do right here is I've sewn the sashing on, as you can see, and I'm going to fold it over and press it. So I'll be right back. And then I'll turn the camera on for the whole thing where you can see it or spotlight it.
Thank you. Spotlight, that's the word.
We're gonna spotlight this baby. Okay, I need to run my roller over this, I think. Okay, now let me turn the camera back around. I'm going to show you what the next step is going to be. And then spotlight it. Okay. All right. Now what we're going to do is, now that I've sewn that long sashing on this one piece. Okay. So we have this side piece left to sew onto this sashing right here. That's the next step. We're going to sew this to this side, and then we'll be ready to go. And this whole block will be finished. Okay, flip her back around because there's something I got to do here. I got to make sure. Bear with me here for a minute. I need to mark something real quick.
talk it out. Tell us what you're marking and why.
I'm trying to make sure that this sashing lines up with the sashing that's running horizontal across this block. So what I did is I took 2 pins right here to mark that spot. And now I'll go ahead and pin everything on here. Yep, that's the hard part.
I do sew and I do quilt, but I'm such a newbie that I have inquiring mind and have to know the why and the backstory. So
Yeah, it's okay. That's what I'm here for. So if there are questions, we answer them. Right now, what I'm doing is just pinning things together, so there's not much to see on that part. Okay.
So pretty. I really, really like it. Did you notice on your other big block on the 9 patch, you have a diagonal from the top left to the bottom right of darker color squares, and your corner flagstone one has also dark in it. It's pretty neat. I don't think you really planned it, but it ended up being that way.
Actually,
it may be the one you're working on right now.
Yeah, it's the one I'm working on right now, and actually, I did plan that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I thought it would be interesting to see that because that other block, the one that started, where are you? Let me see if I did, because I did the same thing here. Check, I'll turn the camera back around so you can see. Only I don't think the cornerstone's the same. Let me look and see. All right.
I didn't mean to pull you away.
No, it's all right. It's okay to comment on things like this.
Look at the reds.
Oh, upside down. Oops. Yeah, whoa, still don't have it turned the right way. Okay. With this one, I didn't do that, but you can see where I had like this red one going through here, one whole long streak through the 9 patch. And this one I'm working on now has like going that way. And then I thought of this. I should have thought of this and turned this around and put a red one down there, but I didn't think of that. You know how that goes when you're doing something. Because it's scrappy.
So called Scrappy, right?
Yeah, it's scrappy, so it doesn't matter.
Robin asked, how many blocks are you doing?
I don't know yet. This project's going to probably last a while because I have a lot of charms. And I want to, I haven't, I'm kind of leaning toward maybe doing a twin size or maybe in between a twin and a full size because I intend on giving these ones to my grandkids because they're colorful and happy and and I know that they would probably appreciate it. Although I do want to make a big one for our bed because I think it'd be fun to have one on the bed. I'm afraid to put one on my bed because if I don't even make our bed half the time. And we have a quilted cover that's what it is it's a quilt, but it's not pieced. It's a one fabric kind of deal. And then it's been quilted. And so I sit on that one a lot, and I'm worried that if I sit on top of one I've made with piecing in it, it'll mess it up. Because I tend to watch a lot of, uh-oh, that's not good. Oh my goodness. Hang on a minute, I have to figure out what I did. Something's not right here. The way I pinned this is wrong. Oh, great. Hang on, y'all, bear with me a minute. I goofed up.
Better now at pinning than after you sew it.
Well, it's what happened was I didn't have the fabric on the edge to edge like it was supposed to be. That's what was wrong. And so I got to repin it.
Sorry, I distracted you talking to you.
No, it's okay. We're fine. I wasn't paying attention. So that's on me. Good thing I caught it before I ran it through the machine. Because then I would have had to rip it out. Okay.
Saturday in that class, Jack and I were really good friends because you had to sew those long 2.5-inch strips together like you do when you're making your own binding.
Uh-huh.
Except for I got confused and I sewed them the wrong way. And so I had to take all of them but one out. It was pitiful.
Sounds like something I would do.
Yeah, well,
How many blocks? Yeah. Robin, I don't know yet. So basically here's my take on this because we are designing this together as a group. So it's up to whoever is actually sewing these blocks on how big they want. Now, from what I understand from Andrea, Andrea says she's going to make hers king size. And someone else told me they were doing a queen size of the blocks. Um, Sherry, what size are you doing? Do you know where you want to go with yours? Sherry was the one that used the 1.5-inch sashing on hers. I think it was 1.5 inch because she's also sewing along with it. The channel is quiet. I should have put a poll in there to keep everybody. All right. Okay, I'm gonna turn the
says
spotlight off.
she's doing queen, and so she's doing 30 blocks.
Yep, see, there you go. And that's why I said this project is not unless you are a fast sewer. I am not planning on rushing through this because I want to enjoy just doing it. And I don't feel like having to put it on a say we're going to get this done by next month. No, not happening. This is probably going to be more like we finish it in the fall because I do know that when June and July gets here, people are going to be out and about and not sewing, and I don't want them to feel like that. Well, they can't complete this project because I have stopped. I won't be stopping. I will continue on probably until I see a point where I want to finish. And if people finish before me, that's fine. I just want them to share their projects. I want to see how theirs looks because I think this is to me this is fun. Okay, now all I gotta do is finish pinning that one side over here that's got the shorter piece. And then we're going to sew it on. Then the fun part is going to be putting the rest of it on here. It's one of these projects you can pick up when you're ready. Yes. Andrea says she's also doing 30 blocks, but she is doing borders too. Yeah, I'm definitely going to put borders on this at the end of it. As much as I hate borders, I'm going to put borders on this one. I just have to figure out what color border I want to do since this is so scrappy. It'll either have to be the white like I'm using on the sashing, or maybe I could use a dark, I don't know, navy blue or something.
Is
And
the
the other thing
crown
is,
representative of a king or a queen? Because they both wear crowns.
oh, yeah.
Andrea says, yes, mine is crown size. So I don't know if that means queen or king.
So you haven't made a decision on which one it'll be yet.
Oh,
I know if the one I want to make for the bed, when I make one for, and this one is probably going to be for the bed, since this is my first one doing it. Or first set of charm packs, unless I see something in a charm pack that I have that I want to do. But if I was doing it for the bed, it would definitely be queen or king, even though we sleep on a queen size bed. This is needs to be turned the other direction because I have stretchy fabric right there. Dang it. What to do about this?
Says her hands are busy, so just listening and not chatting, and the crown means king for her.
Oh, okay, got you.
So the borders will help it get to king as well.
Andrea, how many charm squares did you end up using? We are starting.
Tasha, welcome, welcome.
Hey, Tasha, happy birthday, by the way. I heard it through the grapevine that it was your birthday yesterday. Heard it through the grapevine.
How much longer will you be mine? Honey, honey, yeah. Age is showing, sis.
Yeah, I think so. What band sang that? I don't remember who sang it though.
Raisins.
Who?
Raisins. The
Oh,
California Raisins.
that was actually their name?
No, no,
Oh,
no. It came out as a song with a group, and then Raisin Bran picked it up with the California Raisins singing it.
oh, I didn't realize
I'm
that.
just being silly. Oh, Tasha says it's today, so you're right on time. The
All
big
right. Well,
something, but
happy birthday.
it's the big one, but I can't see what her numbers are yet. It
Hang
has to,
on.
somebody else
She
has to
says the
post.
big four. She says the big 4-0.
Aw,
Yes, that's the good age.
for someone that's going to be 40 this year, Tasha.
Yeah, that's a good age. And we have a finished look. Getting ready to show it to you guys. Hold on a minute.
Here it comes. Or not.
Ta-da! The camera out of the way a minute.
Tasha said, and Katie, I don't know if you saw, but I did check my Janome 6700P does go up to 5 stitch length.
Yeah, I was, my mom, Tasha, my mom had a which my brother has, and there was a basting stitch on that Singer that you could make really long basting stitches on, and I was looking for one this long. My Janome does not make one that long. It only makes 5 millimeter. I need one that long because I use those long things for gathering with, and yeah. Anyway, here's the block. Tasha says she's off to have birthday cake. Enjoy your birthday, Tasha. Okay. All right. Now, does anyone have any questions about this block? Listen, before you go start sewing, I need to make a comment about something. Hang on a second. I'll see if I can find another empty design board to see if I can figure out how to show it to you. Let me get another board. All right. I'm going to put both these the other block on another one because I'm going to show you something. Now, it's up to you whether you choose to do this, but I think that's what I'm going to do. Number one, each of these 16.5-inch blocks need to have another sashing on the other two sides. Because otherwise, you're going to have fun trying to line up all these seams if you don't do that. The other thing is because of the way I did the hourglass setup, I'm going to move this other camera for a minute. Okay, I'm going to try to set this up here where you can see what I'm talking about.
I don't think David Cassidy's saying I heard it through the grapevine.
No, it was, I want to say it was a band that had multiple people in the band. And I kind of think it might have been a band of color. Okay. So we have these.
Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh,
Marvin Gaye wrote it and Creedence Clearwater Revival sang it.
Oh, okay. Then I was wrong about it being a band of color. Sorry. But it was written by the person of color.
Creator was.
Yeah, okay. Because I knew it's always sounded like a person of color. And that's not meant in a negative way, so nobody better take that way. All right, look. This is how the blocks look, right? All right. Now, I'm thinking not only about we're going to put a sashing in on these raw sides, but I want to flip the block so that, wait, turning it the wrong way. So that you have hourglasses running down the raw side of this side. See what I did? I flipped it. And each row that you go, when you're moving along, if you switch it like that, but you're still going to have a little sashing in between, like I'm talking about, imagine that sashing with these design boards. And you're just going to keep doing that. That way you're flipping this and it creates a secondary design. Now, if that's how you want to do it, it depends on if you're willing to ride the wild side.
Flip it so that the 9 patch is next to the 9 patch. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it like that. Hang on a minute.
No. It's got to be, I don't know if it can be.
Yeah, I don't think so because, wait, let me turn it one more time.
Yeah, there you go.
Or you could do it like this. But I kind of think turning it the other way where the hourglass is running down the side between the two works better for me. At least that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I like that better as well.
Yeah, I think, y'all forgive me here. I just don't have space in this room. That's why we need to get in the sewing room where you can actually see my design, because I have a huge wall for a design board. then you could really see what I was talking about. All right, let me try that again. So she was talking about this way, but I think it would look better if it was turned this way. But it's up to you. You do you when you're designing this scrappy quilt, okay? But I think this is the route I'm going to go on as I put it together. And I'm hoping maybe by next month I'll have some idea of what size I want to do, because I need to do some more sewing. And so next month we're going to continue sewing on this. I will maybe I'll have enough blocks to at least start the effect of the turning of the blocks, so you can see with the sashing how it looks, to give you an idea. So yeah, so yeah, you've done a wonderful job in designing this quilt. Thank you, Sherry. Here's what I want to talk to you about. A couple things I want to talk about. After we finish this project, like I said, I don't know when the finishing date will be yet, because we're going to be doing all kinds of things. When we finish this project, I would really like to keep on going with trying to use up charm packs. Maybe I'll come up with something, I don't know. Or we might switch. I have 10 layer cakes. So, I could always switch to a layer cake as a year, half a year to a year-long project. I don't know. I wouldn't mind getting some feedback from you guys. I'll post the pictures of these 2 blocks over on my community tab and on my Facebook group. And you guys tell me what you would like to see as a project where we're using up stash that we have a lot of. The only stash that I don't have a lot of is I only have 4 jelly rolls. And that's all I have of jelly rolls. And I might have a thinner jelly, I forget what those are called, honey bun or something. But I don't know where that's at currently. It's in there somewhere. But and only have 1 of those. So let me talk about what's on the calendar, and we'll keep on going on with this. Please, those of you who are doing the blocks, can you take pictures and post them on the Facebook group, or email them and let me post my email if you're not a Facebook user, because I know some aren't. Or you can, Sherry, if you don't mind. Sherry has Discord. I have Discord, but I don't have nothing set up in Discord. I just go fly off everybody else. It's too confusing for me. But Sherry says this is okay. So if you use Discord, but you don't use Facebook, but you don't want to email me the pictures, but you're willing to post them over on Discord, Sherry, will you share your Discord link, and people can go over to her and share it and just post on there that it's from my channel's Quilt Along. That way, we can, Andrea says, no pre-cuts left. See, she's used all hers up. That was the name of the game. Use up the pre-cuts. So I definitely want to keep on using pre-cut, or use up a lot of my charm squares. You're going to have to wait a minute, little miss. You hear someone down here? What time is it? Like clockwork. Yep. Okay. While Sherry's getting ready to post her link to Discord, in case you're not a Facebook user, go post those pictures over there. And then what I'll do is I'll start sharing pictures as we're going along, so everybody can see each other's work, because I'd really like to see the progression of each of our quilt tops. Okay, tomorrow night, and I'm going to turn, I want all of y'all to look. Anyone want to know what that is up there on that board back there? Let's see who can guess what that block is from, because we're about to talk about it. Let's see who guesses what it is. I'm not talking about that big, huge thing. I'm talking about that right there. You leaving, Jean? Thank you for coming. Shh. I'll take care of you in a minute. Get down. Oh, you can see her. Oh, they can see you on the camera. Hmm. Let me move that out of the way. Oh, you went underneath the desk? Now you're hiding from the camera? Okay, who wants to guess what the block is? No one? Oh, come on, you guys. Okay, so because I took last week off, we didn't sew anything, and oh, thanks, Sherry. See that tail?
Mama.
Okay, no one's gonna guess. All right, all right. So last week, because I took a week off, that would have been a break in between the 1,000 block we did on Friday, April 4th. On April 4th, we did pivot point. I think that's what we did. Yeah. This coming Friday, we will, Sherry knew what it was. This Friday, we will be doing the next, which will be block 6, churn star. So it's if you have the book, it's on page 504, block number 993, and I will go ahead and post all the information on both my social media pages. And that I went ahead and made one of these blocks because I'm going to show you what the problem is. So if you get stuck, don't quit. Stop and wait until Friday, and I'm going to walk you through what you should do first on this block, because it's a beautiful block, but it's technical, and it's worth making the block because it's beautiful. I'll show you up close what it looks like, because I'll be making another block on the live to walk you through it, because I decided when I saw those angles, I'm like, yeah, you know what? We need to make sure I know how to do this block. Yep, she's a happy dog. Okay, so let me show you what the deal is with this block. Page 504. Okay. I hope I can show it to you here. Okay. I'm gonna put it up close to the camera. Okay, do you see right here these little angled triangles right here? If you don't sew them in the right direction on this section, because basically you're making like a flying geese, but these little tiny triangles right here, which ends up creating the turn dash, if you think you can just go around here and make them all in the same direction, wrong. I found out the hard way. So I'm going to walk you through this side of the triangle and this side of the triangle so you can see that this way. For those of you who are angle challenged like me, some of you are not angle challenged and probably will put this block together in short order, but I'm challenged, and I know there's a couple other people that are, and it's very easy to turn this the wrong way and not be able to do it. So that's what makes this hard. The rest of this goes together fairly easily, because you're using two right here on this section of this big triangle. There's two triangles that are the same size right here, but then on the other side of it is a bigger triangle, and it's really easy to sew that bigger triangle on the wrong side. So that's what we got to work on. So that's what we're working on tomorrow night. And then Saturday night, I am going to be working on either my magnolia, or I may do part magnolia, part tulip pink. Those that I'm doing for my granddaughter's quilt. So that's what we'll be doing on Saturday. And Myra's going to be with me on Saturday. Also, she'll be sewing something. So she'll share it with you on what she plans on sewing when we have the live on Saturday. Anyone have any questions, please ask. I'll be happy to answer them. Just make sure you go check the community tab on the YouTube channel. I'll give you all the information you need for tomorrow night. And The other thing, yeah, since I have already made, I've already set up lives that are going to carry me all the way through till Tuesday, because Tuesday's going to be different. Tuesday, I'll be not sewing. We will be crocheting, and I'll be crocheting with Andy from Crafty Witch and Shonda from Under the Needle, who is a fellow quilter. We're going to be doing that together because she also crochets and she has quite a stash. So that's what the plan is. And I think I figured out how I can temporarily use this camera, lift the tripod up enough and turn myself around where, you guys can see what I'm doing. I haven't decided on exactly what I plan on doing. I do plan on doing 2 unboxings so you can see because you've heard me talk about the little box of crochet boxes. So we're going to do a medium size one and a small size one of that so that you can see it, because I have plenty of unboxings for y'all to see. There's a bunch of them. There's 2 years worth of them in there. So I'm thinking Joyce says she crochets too. So yeah, bring your stash to crochet. We're just going to sit and chat and crochet. And that's what we're going to do. And that's Tuesday starting at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 Central Standard Time. Yeah. And you all can do the math on the rest of the time zones. It's okay, Laura. As long as you watch a replay, it's fine. If you have any questions about what we did tonight, please post them. Don't just wait until a month from now and then forget what you were going to ask. Please ask. There's plenty. You can ask questions below this live video in the underneath the description box, or you can email me. You know where to email me at, or do it over on Facebook, whichever place. I will put pictures up of these 2 blocks so that you can ask questions from there too. Okay, so that's all for tonight. I appreciate all of you coming to my live tonight. Thank you for being patient about me taking a week off. I really needed to do it. It was required. Myra, thank you for coming tonight and helping me out here. She'll be here on Saturday. Laura says she's been crocheting for 56 years. I've been doing it for 52. So yeah, I love you guys. Remember, live, laugh, love, dream. And what do you do with all of that? You create something. Good night, everyone, and see you tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, your time. All right, hold on here.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Love you bunches.
Love you too.
Thank you for letting me be here. Bye.
Oh, anytime. Love you.
Love you, babe.
Bye.
Bye.